Hi everybody, and welcome to another Chewin' Chat. I'm Ron Rayfield, Justine Dorn, my co-host right here, and forever co-host, soon to be.
Yes.
Today, we have cherry pie.
We have cherry pie. Sweet cherry pie. And you know, I'm kind of obsessed with pies.
I love that song.
Yes, he loves that song. He likes hair metal music. We don't listen to classical music much, surprisingly. No, we like metal music. So when I told Ron we were making a cherry pie, instantly his thoughts just all went to that song.
Wow! Okay, enough of the cheesiness.
Enough. This has cherries and raspberries in it. It is the world's most vaguest receipt that I ever found. It was one sentence long, if I remember right, maybe two, and it just said, how to make a cherry pie. Cherries taste very good with raspberries. The end. There was nothing else in the receipt. It didn't say how long to bake it for. It didn't say how much sugar to add. Spices, nothing. And a lot of receipts back then were so vague because they were made for servants, people who already knew the basics of cooking. So it just gave you tips on how to make it better, but it didn't tell you exactly how to do it like modern cookbooks do.
So you're on your own.
So you're on your own completely, and this one was extra bad. It was extra vague. So I just put in generic fruit pie seasonings that work good with any fruit pie, lemon juice, cinnamon, and I also made the crust from a receipt from the same book. All of this is from 1816. The crust and the filling, 1816. We also have it with some cream here, whipped cream.
Yep, you whip some heavy cream.
Yes,
for about 10 minutes and you get whipped cream.
Yeah, whipped cream. 10 minutes, maybe when he does it. When he does it, it's 10 minutes. For me, it's more like half an hour.
Let's serve this up.
And we have leftover cherries.
I want to taste this thing. I haven't tasted it yet. She tasted it over on Early American, which is where you can see this being made. Early American is our main primary channel.
Yes. Over here we eat it, over there we cook it.
Yep.
And that's why there's a slice missing right now.
Yeah, she got to taste it.
Yes. So people are like, oh, Justine, don't eat.
Oh, no, all right.
No, stir me up. I'm still talking.
Oh, okay. Well,
people are saying like, Justine, don't eat as much as Ron. That's because I already had a helping before.
Also, no, I did not get beat up.
Or if his fingers are...
It's the cherry juice.
His fingers are stained with cherry juice. So his fingers are purple now?
Yeah, it's very strange.
Thank you.
It's a loose pie. It's still warm. Now, this kind of pie can gel up if you put it in your refrigerator and let it chill, which is really how I love pie. I love cold pies. Everybody likes warm apple pie. I like it cold.
Yes.
I like cold desserts. Cold desserts is my thing.
I don't know what my preference is, honestly. I don't know. It depends on the pie. Whoa, that's a huge slice.
Well, I'm going to eat like 2 or 3, so I may just eat one big one to start with, right?
You're right.
They agree.
Yes. He's a grown boy. He needs to eat.
Eat, Ron. Don't let Ron starve.
Like my grandma says, eat, son, eat, you must grow.
Look at that. Yum, 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 yum,
yum.
Thank you, everybody who's watched our latest videos. They're doing wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you to the very kind lady. I think she was from New York. Sent us this lovely Benjamin Franklin pitcher. I'm going to call it a pitcher. Justine thinks it's a teapot. Yeah, that is very good. Did you pass me some whipped cream, please?
Yes.
I would like some whipped cream. Thank you.
I think it's a teapot, but it don't have a lid on it, so we're using it as a vase. Oh, that's a pretty plate.
You want some?
Yes, of course I do. Yes.
It's a little warm today, so the whipped cream is starting to fall already.
Right. Yes.
You know, little kids, they like eating anything that's sweet, salty,
I'm
whatever.
A little kid, then.
Some kids have been known to take a spoon to a butter bowl. It's a thing. My thing was a container of the Cool Whip.
You would just eat Cool Whip.
I would just eat Cool Whip. Oh man, it's so good.
Well, now I mean, I know where you got your strange eating habits from. Your dad. His dad will just eat apple butter straight out of a jar.
Well, people eat applesauce straight out of a jar.
But apple butter? That's something else. Mine's a little skimpier looking, but I already got a slice. That's my excuse.
I need a utensil. Oh, I don't eat with this, I guess.
That's right. That is so pretty. This is from 1816, guys.
That tastes really good. Man, you did a great job on that.
Thank you.
Let's dig in.
You know, cherries are my favorite fruit. Part of the reason why it might be my favorite fruit is because it's like the forbidden fruit in my family. Because growing up, cherries were so expensive. They are so expensive.
Oh, yeah.
My mom could only afford to buy us a bag of cherries maybe once every 3 years.
I think
Sometimes less.
Cherries are selling for like $4.50 per pound right now. It's crazy.
Cherries have always been expensive. So growing up, it was the ultimate delicacy. Apples, eh. Bananas, eh. Cherries, yes. Cherries are a yes.
Now, my family's been in the restaurant business for almost 50 years. And I've made plenty of cherry pies. We make our own pies, but for the filling, we never pitted cherries. We would use it out of a can.
This is incredible.
And this is so much better
today.
than the can.
You know what I learned today? Ron has never had fresh cherries before.
Nope, I've only had them in the jars or the can.
Because they're so expensive.
And they got pits in them. Who wants to deal with pits? That's the same reason I don't eat those big, delicious, dark purple grapes, because they got pits in them.
Oh.
So I don't even touch them. I hate dealing with pits, but
really?
It's worth the work to sit there for half an hour and pit the cherries, and you'll have a much better pie than the cherry pie filling that you get from the store.
Oh, of course you will have a much
So that's
better
my
pie.
comparison. So if you'd like to try to make this, don't cheat.
No.
Pit them. It's worth it. It tastes so much. It tastes good. They're not mush. There's no corn syrup in it. There's no gum, nitrates,
I'm not gonna
silicone,
lie.
whatever they put in it.
I'm not gonna lie and say this is health food, but it's better than some places have it.
So it's 100% real.
This is real food. This is food from the earth.
It's good.
I love food that our ancestors would have had. Nothing weird. No gum, anything, yellow number 5, whatever.
Missed a pit. Luckily I didn't chomp down on it.
Well, can you tell Ron secretly off camera helped me to deep it the cherries?
Maybe that was the one I did.
Maybe.
So eat with caution. And even if it didn't have the raspberries in it, the cherries themselves are so good. The raspberry gives it a tartness, so it's not too sweet, I think. Because raspberries by themselves is kind of tart.
It also just makes it unique.
Yeah.
It adds a more complex flavor. This is very good.
The spoon's almost too big for my mouth.
This is a big spoon. This is a pewter spoon.
Serving spoon.
Not silver, pewter. Back in the day, pewter was made out of lead and tin and other minerals.
Aluminum kind of replaced the pewter in the 20th century.
Right.
Well, we got some news, as you might have guessed. Every time. We got some news.
Every week he's like, okay guys, we got news.
Just in breaking today.
And every time he says that, I know you guys think, oh, they're getting married or she's with child, but no, it's never any of that stuff.
It's even better than that.
Yeah, it's better than that.
We are proud owners of 10 new little chickies.
Yes, we have 10 new chicks.
This is the part where you all go, woohoo!
Yes, this is the part right here.
So they're super cute. They go tweet 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 tweet
Yes.
tweet tweet tweet.
And they also poop a lot.
They flap their wings. They're like. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
They eat nonstop. They poop nonstop.
Yeah, they just poop 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 poop.
All they do is poop. Chickens are pooping machines.
Yeah. This is really good. I will definitely be having another piece of this.
Really?
Yeah, that's delicious.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna eat half of a pie. Not that I'm stopping you.
Well, you had that piece and that first piece. That equals what I just ate. I'm bigger than you, so yeah, I'll have another piece.
I'm glad you like it. I love pie. But this is no secret. Don't I say this every other chew chat?
Yeah,
that I'm obsessed with pie?
You just said it last week. We were talking about pies.
Yes. It's not really a secret.
I don't think anybody hates pie.
My dad don't like pie.
Are you serious?
He's a cake person. He don't like pie. There are some people out there, they don't like it. You know what I think the problem is they haven't found the right pie for them.
But they haven't, yeah, somebody hasn't made it right for them. They've just had bad pies.
Not all pies are created equal. You have to find the pie that works for you.
And coincidentally, all of them work for us.
Yes, except apple pie like we talked about last time. But we don't want to talk about that.
Until you have mine.
It's like finding your soulmate. It takes patience. You have to try out a whole bunch of different slices. But eventually you'll find the slice for you. Isn't that right, Ron?
That's right. And I found you.
Some people, they don't like fruit pies. And
Woo.
I'll admit, non-fruit pies are a little higher up on my list than fruit pies. You know, things like chocolate pie, oatmeal pie, I told you guys is my all-time favorite. Of course, pumpkin pie. I don't think pumpkins are technically a fruit. Or are they? Pumpkins
We
are
got
fruit?
seeds.
Well, you guys know what I mean. I mean, I do really like blackberry pie. But it's just not in the top 3.
Usually blackberries, when you make a pie of berries, it's usually a cobbler. And I'll be honest, I don't really know the difference between a cobbler and a pie, other than the shape. Normally your cobblers are made in a rectangular pan, and it's a big pan, and then pies are usually round. I think that's really the only thing that separates. It's the same dough, same concept, just different shape. But usually peaches, pies, or peaches, blackberries, what's the other kind of berry they make with, like a
gooseberry.
Yeah, like gooseberry.
Rhubarb, strawberry.
Yeah, usually them are cobblers, and then cherry and apple pies. I think it's just the shape.
You know, but you make cobblers in a different way. There's 2 different types of ways you can make it. You can make it with the crumbled stuff on top of it.
Oh, yeah.
Or I've seen people make it with pastry on top like this.
We make it with pastry. On top and bottom.
And they still call it a cobbler.
Yeah. Well, we call the other thing like a crisp.
Okay.
Like an apple crisp. I've actually done a pie like that, apple pie. I didn't put a top layer of dough. I did the brown sugar and oatmeal and other stuff. It was really good. And butter. It was really good. It got like a crunchy, like...
With apples?
Textured, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good.
It was good. That's good. I'm gonna have another piece.
Oh my gosh.
We got a wedding to go to this evening, so yes. I'm just gonna eat savory stuff tonight and eating dessert now.
It's in St. Genevieve. It's people dress as 18th century for this wedding.
It's for our friend Donna and her husband Doug. He is a national park ranger and big time reenactor. Sews his own clothes. He's one of those guys that's fully legit. She is the director at the Fields Valley State House site / museum in St. Genevieve.
And so we're going to their wedding ceremony.
Yeah.
She is full Native American. I don't remember the tribe. Do you know the tribe?
I think Chickasaw.
Chickasaw?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so at the wedding they're going to have a Chickasaw ceremony for part of it. Just for part of it. And Ron said he would film that part for her, for their memories.
And they got Dennis Stratman. Dennis Stratman is a master at fiddle playing. He does a lot of French Creole fiddle playing. He's got a couple CDs out. Very good.
He's the guy that does all the stuff around here, don't he?
Yeah, but he's known like.
Yeah, he's known, but whenever you come to St. Gen, Sometimes for festivals, you'll hear French music,
and he lives in
he
Missouri.
sings.
I think he lives in Missouri.
What is that kind of music called?
Just French Creole.
French?
Fiddle or early bluegrass.
Because the language that he sings in, though.
Yeah,
language?
It's the Pawpaw Creole French.
It's Pawpaw French. So if you're French from France, you might not completely understand it.
Canadians.
If you're French from Canadian, you also might not completely understand it. There might be some words that you understand. America has
it's like
a lot of culture.
It's like going from here to Australia. You're not going to know what they're saying half the time, or it means something different.
Yes, just like French Canadian is a little bit different than the French they speak in France. A little bit. The dialect, the accent's a little bit different.
It's more rustic.
Some of the slang words are different. It's developed differently. So down here, we have our own version of French called Pawpaw French, and it's completely different than the French that they speak in France because it developed in America. At least the type that's spoken around here. So, people say America has no culture. The problem is that America is so big that every little tiny region, you flip over a rock and there's a completely different culture. So it's overwhelming to people from the outside. Because, you say like German culture, Chinese culture, even Chinese culture, there's so many different things. But even for Chinese culture, usually people just focus on like one area, and there's all these little tribes out in the country areas that they totally ignore. Or like Japanese culture, it goes on and on and on. Brazilian, whatever, like so many different things. But then you're just like, American culture. American what? Because are we talking about the Appalachian people? Are we talking about Creole people? Are we talking about Midwesterners? I mean, there's like every area, there's so many different things that we do, like different festivals. The language, the slang is different. Sometimes even, like, we all understand English, but everyone has a different accent. And we have different words, like slang that we say. And
soda, sody, pop, cola.
Yes.
Pop.
It just depends on where you live, really. And then we have, like I just said, Pawpaw French, which a lot of people in this area still speak because this is originally a French town. And it developed its whole uniqueness around that. So it's not generic American, and it's not quite French either. It's unique to this area. And so when people say American culture, it's just, you can't throw everything under the blanket like that because there's every area you go, there's something completely different. So it's really hard to define what American culture is.
Especially when it comes to food. Like if you want a black and white smack in the face for different cultures, look at a barbecue sauce map.
Oh yeah.
Each region, there's like Kansas City's known for something, and then like Louisiana's known for something else, and South Carolina has something totally different, and St. Louis has something totally different.
Yes.
And California has something different.
We are the United States. We are a bunch of individual states that are united. We work together. We're technically the same country, but we are individual states.
We're like a giant.
We're like 50 little tiny countries that are all joined and mashed up together. So I lived in Germany for 8 years because my dad was in the military. In Germany, if you wanted to drive to Switzerland, you wanted to drive to France, you would get in your car, and then 3 hours later, you would be in France. Here, where we're at, 3 hours later, we might be.
Arkansas.
Yeah, we might be in another state. So that just gives you an idea of how huge the U.S. is, and the fact that every little state is almost like a little tiny country. So it's like saying European culture, versus like American culture. What the heck's European culture? It don't mean anything. You have to look at every individual country and then every individual region. Well, it's the same with American culture. Don't say American culture. Say St. Genevieve culture. You have to look at the individual areas because we're so huge.
But there are things that we are
there are things that we share
that are the same.
Yes.
So it is there is American culture.
Yep.
But
there's the generic American culture, like things that everybody does. You know, like in Europe, there's things everybody does.
As long as people are happy.
Mhm.
You don't like that candle?
Oh yeah. Okay, totally changing the subject now.
Yep.
Did Candy give you this?
Yep.
Candy gave this to Ron.
Now she has them for sale. This one's an old and rusty one. All she has for sale are the black ones. She has them in a size smaller than this. It's about this tall. Then she has this size, and then she has a bigger one. It's like this tall compared to it. So she's got 3 different sizes available.
Yes. And I'm excited to light this up because I've seen these lanterns everywhere.
They're punch 10.
Punch 10, and that makes sense. But I've never actually seen these lit up. I've only ever used lanterns that have the cow horn or the glass covering it.
Well, light it up.
Okay. We'll take out the candle, and we still have a little bit of a fire. So let me try to light this candle. See how much.
That? I'm gonna keep eating.
How about you explain to them why it's called a punch 10 lantern? It's kind of obvious, but.
I can do that. One second.
This is a short wick. It might take me a bit.
So what you do is you take some tin and you just punch it.
With what?
Your fist.
No.
No. You start out with a sheet of tin, or you can use copper. This would actually be a fun project to do. So anyways, you got your sheet of tin or copper, and you got a little tool and a hammer, and maybe it's a slit, or maybe it's a little round thing, and you just make a pattern, and then you eventually would roll it up and rivet it together somehow to make. I don't know how you make a lantern, but that's how you punch tin. Is you have a punch that has either like a flat head on it to make a slit, or a little. Oh, I'm sorry, you gotta put that in there.
Ooh, ghost stories. And for punch 10, they would have used that for all sorts of things, not just necessarily lanterns.
Yeah, you can make a coffee bean roaster. You can make a strainer with it.
You can make a pie safe.
A pie safe, because it's basically a cupboard, but you gotta let it breathe. So you would pinch this. Screen wasn't, a common thing like it is today. So you punch the tin. Bugs can't get in there, but it can still breathe.
Yep.
Yeah, look at that.
And then here's another example.
Yeah, a grater.
Here's a grater. This is punch 10.
Yeah.
So they punch it. First, you have a flat sheet of tin, and then you punch it, and then the side that was punched out goes on the outside because that's the sharp side.
Yep.
This will grate anything. This will grate concrete.
You can grate your
it's
finger
so
right
strong.
off. Be careful.
Yes.
It's sharp.
You could grate a tree. It's so strong and sharp. So yeah, punch tin. It's really simple. It don't take technology to make it. You just get something sharp and you punch holes through a sheet of tin, and then you can make 10 plus different things with it. Let's see. I want to see how much light it puts out when it's closed.
Might have to wait till it gets dark outside.
Right, it is.
At nighttime they're beautiful. It's almost like a disco ball light. You got the latch inside. You got to pull it out.
Oh, there you go.
Now, yes, these are decorative, but this is a good way to travel with your light.
It's very safe.
And not be blown out.
And no beeswax melts.
They would use these a lot in barns, I think, because they were safer.
Okay. Yeah, there's nowhere. The bottom is completely. There's no holes on the bottom.
Yeah.
So beeswax, once it drips down, it'll just collect in a pool on the floor here. Inside of the lantern, it won't drip out. So it's very safe. And the holes are just enough to let light out, but not enough for sparks to shoot out, or for the flame to shoot out.
Or for it to go out with the wind, even.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, it doesn't.
It's not even flickering.
Yeah, it doesn't phase it. But they're cool.
Real neat.
They also, people call them the Paul Revere lantern. I'm not sure where it gets his name for that. Maybe he made silver lanterns, I'm not sure, but.
Or tin lanterns.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
And those are made here in the USA as well. They're USA products.
Yeah, so that's a cheaper version. Let me show you a high-end version of lighting.
Oh yeah.
This is the fanciest thing we own. It's from St. Gen. We got it from the pewter store here in downtown St. Genevieve.
Yep.
There's a pewter store here. And this is an oil lamp. This is an 18th/early 19th century oil lamp before you had the Victorian style glass oil lamps, because glass was still expensive to make. Obviously not as expensive as it was 1,000 years ago, but to have a huge glass vessel was not really practical for most people. So it was actually cheaper just to have pewter.
It might light. It might be just enough left in there.
Okay.
So we can show them that it lights.
Yeah, we'll show you guys. So at the stem of it, this big part right here, that's full of oil.
It's supposed to be anyways.
What's in there?
There's just a little bit.
Oh.
The wick's not touching it on the inside, so that's why I tip it upside down
here.
here.
You put gasoline in it.
No. What's gasoline?
It's some. And
100 years away.
So this whole thing is full of gasoline, this whole thing is full of some kind of
lamp oil.
Lamp oil?
Lamp oil, kerosene, tiki torch oil would work too.
Right.
But that's gonna burn dirty. I think lamp oil today is it burns clean, because we've had it lit quite a bit and there's no soot on that thing. Put the hurricane over it.
There's some modern lamp oils that do have a bad smell. You just have to shop around and get a good one. This one don't leave a smell.
Definitely don't get anything with citronella in it, because that's just bad.
Oh no, that's bad to breathe that stuff in. So the tall thing that's shooting out, it's surrounded in metal. There's a metal shaft, but in the inside is a wick.
Mm-hmm.
You push the wick out to get a bigger flame, and this is probably the lowest it'll go right now before it just totally goes out. So it's a really short wick, but we don't want to waste all our wick.
Yeah.
And we put a hurricane over it for safety. These are called hurricanes.
Mm-hmm.
It's made out of glass.
We got that from Candy.
Mm-hmm. But this is very thin glass. So it would have been cheaper to have that.
Yep.
I feel like another reason why they would have made this out of pewter instead of glass is for safety reasons. It's like the Victorians just said, no, screw it. Let's make it out of glass. And then so many people died because they caught themselves on fire from dropping kerosene lamps on the floor.
Yeah, you can't. Putting out an oil fire is very hard.
Right.
Water doesn't work. You gotta smother it.
Yes. Actually, at one of the farm museums we went to while we were up in Chicago.
The Amish antique store in Arthur, Illinois, they had a whole room of nothing but oil lamps.
Oh yeah, yeah, they did. They had the Victorian style ones, like the glass style ones. But the farm museum that we went to up in Schaumburg, they told us that one of the residents of the property was like in the 1890s.
Oh yeah, the grandma did.
Yeah, she just said it so casually. Oh yeah, and this is the room where grandma spilled kerosene on her and she caught on fire and she later died. Okay, on to the next room.
Grandma was extra crispy.
Yeah, the Victorians, man, they were like, screw it, we want light. But in this period, we're not at that stage yet of being like, screw it. So
yeah,
we're more about safety in this period, I guess, a little bit. So yeah, that's made out of pewter, and this is the most fancy, expensive thing we own. It's not an antique; it's brand new. It's a year old, maybe, from the pewter store. They have an online website, by the way.
Yep,
and they ship.
So does Candy. Just to touch Candy store is Sassafras Creek Originals. It's here in St. Genevieve, Missouri. She has a website, and then the pewter store is called ASL Pewter. It is here in St. Genevieve as well.
We got these spoons from there.
They also have a website.
We shop local a lot because it's
all the
what
shops
they would have done.
Here.
Yeah, it's what they would have done all those years ago. They would have just gone to town and bought whatever they locally had.
And it's nice to shop local. It helps the local businesses.
Oh yeah.
It's nice to make new friends with people.
Yes.
New relationships.
Yes. And they're very nice over at the pewter store too.
And you can learn something from any other people.
Some of you might get freaked out by how nice they are. That you'll go there and they'll hug you. That's how nice they are.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, oh, personal space. But
I don't know.
We don't believe in personal space here.
Apparently not.
Personal space hasn't been invented yet.
What? Don't act like you didn't like that.
Yes. With you, it's okay. Man, I cannot believe we ate that much pie.
I know. I kind of regret the last piece, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah, I feel kind of weird.
I mean,
there's a lot of sugar in there.
You did just eat probably 3 months worth of sugar rations. I'm gonna have a cherry.
I had like 5 of them. I think I'm done eating.
They're still my favorite fruit.
So anyways, we have one Wyandotte. He's the kind that's black on bottom and white on top. And there's 3 of the blonde Chickies. I forget what they're called. And then there's 6 of the barred rock ones, which end up being red or
black and white
cherries. It's like a Dominicker chicken.
And those are a heritage breed.
Yep.
I wanted those ones.
And then we have the 2 red hens still yet. So we're going to have quite the variety of Chickies.
Yes.
They'll look very pretty.
So they're currently in our little shed that we have.
Yep.
They're living the high life. That shed is insulated.
It is.
It's nice in there.
Now, before I built this one, that was the first little one I built. Before I even knew Justine, I thought, you know what? I do all this history stuff. I need somewhere to stick all my junk. And so I built it for that. I insulated it. And I built the thing for under $500. I just repurposed all the wood. And so all we use it to do is keep our camp boxes and stuff in there. And so we thought, why not let me just make a really good secure Chickie house. So that's what we're going to do.
Yep.
And we'll keep the camp boxes in the bedroom in here because there's plenty of extra room while we're
The
not
one
using it.
that we had before, the chicken coop that we had before, that was always going to be a temporary one. You know, people were saying like, oh, that won't keep the cold out for nothing.
And
yeah, we know. It was just for the summer
And there was just 4 chickens too, so now we got 12 total.
Yes, so that original coop, that was just for the summer. That was just for spring and summer. We built it at, it was early spring it was built. We always knew that we were going to build a more permanent one by the time the next winter came around, so that, you know, of course they would be taken care of. And so now they have an insulated, fancy pants chicken coop. I mean, how many people out there have an insulated chicken coop?
Nobody.
It's nice in there.
With 2 windows and a smokestack hole. We took the stove out.
Yes.
But they don't need a stove.
No, they don't need a stove. They'll hurt themselves.
It got hot in there quick. When I had a fire in there 2 winters ago, right before I met you, and it ran me out of there in like 2 minutes. And it was just some limbs and scrap wood. It wasn't even, big chunks of wood like we use in here, and it was hot.
Right, and so the chicks are just in there now. The regular chickens are still at the old coop because we want to keep them separate from the chicks until they're teenage size at least. And so we have about a month or 2 to start building up in there. We're going to build nest boxes and put a branch across it inside, make it real nice for them. Right now it's just a shed. There's no nest boxes. Shed. It's a very nice shed. There's even there's a mirror hanging on the wall, and for crying out loud, it's such a nice shed. But we're going to build into it and make it a proper chicken house. Yep.
Serves its purpose. With all the stuff going on, it's good to have extra chickies.
Oh yeah. Chickens are the ultimate animal. They give you food, they give you like eggs, they give you meat, they give you feathers. Cows are also the ultimate animal because they give you labor. You can use them as oxen. Yeah. They give you milk, they give you butter, they give you cheese, they give you ice cream, they give you meat.
Burgers, steaks.
I'm trying to think, I know meat, but I'm trying to think like...
Hide.
Oh yeah, they give you leather. Oh man, they're the ultimate
Like
animal.
At the end of the road, when it comes time to butcher it, use the leather too.
Yeah.
I tell you what you do. There's always somebody local that has cattle farm, hog farm.
Yes.
That does meat. That's going to be the best meat anyways, and best for the price. And you're supporting a local person.
So get local.
But anyways, we're going to hop off here. We got to get dressed to go to a wedding.
Yep.
So we love y'all. Thank you very much for all the support. Thank you for all the letters.
Thank you.
That we get. And for being our friends.
Yes, thank you so much. You guys take care. Have a good rest of your day. I'm going to finish off these cherries and put on 18th century stays, and we're going to go on out.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.